welcome back to Chalk and Talk Mentor. In today's video, we will have a discussion on the usage of be forms of verbs. But before understanding the usages of be forms of verb or where and how to use be form of verbs, we need to know the verbs that fall into this category. So we'll get started, but before that, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to click on the subscribing icon and also click on the notification bell icon which is nearby to get yourself notified for all the videos that are about to come in the channel. Alright, with no further ado, let's get started. So first we need to look into the chart that will help you guys or that will envisage you to easily learn the be form of verbs and where we are using them. You will get answer for this question by means of looking into this chart. Okay, so we have am, is, are, was, were, will be, have been, has been, had been, and being as the verbs which fall into the category of be form of verbs. Alright, with this, we will not be able to use them, and if we wanted to use them according to the grammatic structure, we need to catch hold of three different points. First thing is what we did, that is, you need to have, you need to remember all these verbs. This list of verbs are called as be form of verbs. Before understanding where and how to use, you need to be knowing these words, this list of verbs that is called as be form of verbs. The second thing that you need to understand is you need to catch hold of all the differentiations that it shows as the changes are over the tenses. So when the tense is changing from one form to the other form, we use another verb and we don't stand with the same verb. So that is the second thing we need to be conscious of. The third thing that we need to understand is that, so we need to be knowing the concord rules, or in other ways, which we refer to as subject-verb agreement. Okay, so we need to know the subject-verb agreement and the rules of subject-verb agreement for us to not commit mistakes with the usages of be form of verbs. Alright, so these are the 3 points that we need to be knowing or that we need to take into account for us to understand and get rid of all the mistakes that we are likely to do. Alright, so well in advance, I have given you all the cautions and now let's get started. So as you can see the chart, this chart has got all the be form of verbs. Okay, and I have classified the verbs into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 parts. Okay, on basis of the changes that it takes within it when it is changed from one tense form to the other tense form. So am, is and are the verbs, or are the be form of verbs which is used for present tense. Alright, while was and were are used for past tense. Will be or shall be at times, which is not commonly used, but will be is predominantly used, or it is most commonly found to be used with all the speeches and written forms, and so I have written only that. And of course shall be is also to be included, but that is not commonly used, and so I have not written it, but you can take a note of it. So will be is used for future tense, while has been and have been is used for present perfect continuous, and had been is used for the past perfect continuous. Alright, while we have the continuous form, the simple continuous form of the be form of verbs is being, which is also used in passivation. Alright, so this is a general thing that we need to understand. Alright, so I'll quickly give you some examples for you to understand the usages in a better way. So the first thing is we are going to have a look at the present tense. So as I've already told you about what are those verbs that fall under the present tense. So it is am, is and are. Alright, so I have given you a list of subjects for you to easily understand the usages of these verbs. So first we will understand the usage of be form of verbs with regards to the present tense. So we have three verbs here: am, is and are. Alright, so you need to understand concord rule here to make use of these verbs. That's so simple here. We will have another video to have a deep understanding on concord and the rules that fall into that topic in another video very soon. For now, I will give you a quick, I will give you very quickly a few tips for you to remember these things. You just have to remember those points to, save yourself from the commonly committed mistakes. All right. So as we are aware, if whenever you get to listen or whenever you get to see this present tense and be form of verbs together, this must be the list that must pop up into your mind, and that is am, is, and are. All right. So am is a special verb. Okay. So am is a very special be form of verb that is used only for one subject, and that is I. Alright, so this I is the only subject where we use or where we make use of this one and only specialized present be form of verb, that is am. Alright, so the example sentence is I am a boy. That is it. It is as simple as that. So this subject I uses am. It is the only subject perhaps to say that uses this one and only special be form of verb, that's am, that goes only with I. Alright, and next you need to also understand that am and is both are the be form of verbs which is used for singular present subjects. Alright, singular present verbs. Alright, so I am a boy, that is with a singular subject because I denotes to one person and that's a singular, while is gonna be something that is related to a singular person, be it of any gender, okay, be it of any kind of species, all right, be it a human being, and even with that, if you need not consider if that person is a boy or a girl, all right. So when it comes to the subjects he, she, it are the proper nouns. That is going to be the name of these he, she, and it. All right. So if this is the case, that will use, if it is going to be a singular, obviously these three are going to be singular subjects, and these singular subjects will make use of is when they are put to a sentence formation. Like he is, just like how we use here, I am a boy. Here it becomes he is a boy, she is a girl, it is a dog. Okay, so this is how it is going to be. Now quickly we'll go to the plural present form where are is used. This are word is used for plural present subject, where like we and they. You also need to understand that we have you here. You can question me if you belongs to singular or plural. That's a very good and important doubt to be clarified. Alright, this is yet another special subject which will be, or which is inclusive of both the forms. Like it also, it is also used in places of singular and plural nouns. Alright, you here may be relating or may be denoting to a group. You here may also be denoting to one particular person. So that is not going to be a matter. Alright, if you find the subject you are going to use are, just like how I said, you are going to use it. You are. Alright, so the subjects you, we, they, when it is in present form, they are going to make use of are. Alright, I guess that was clear with the present tense. Now, let's quickly dive into the past form. While the singular past will have was as its be form of verb, while were be form of verb will be used for the past plural form. Okay, I'll quickly give you examples. Like, I was riding a bike. Okay, I is a singular. Was will help you out in understanding that it has happened already, and same alike if you come to this portion where he, she, it are proper nouns, will also say that it is belonging or it is having a singular noun, that when it is saying about something which has happened already, that becomes past, right? So if it is a past form of these subjects, that is also going to make use of this verb, that is was. Like he was writing a letter, she was riding a bike, it was barking at me. Okay, so here it is becoming relative pronouns. Okay, So they are becoming relative to the proper nouns. All right. So be it a proper noun or a pronoun that is going to be denoting that particular noun, when it is going to stand with the tense of past, that's going to be a singular subject which is going to get in hand with the past form of be form of verbs, and so it is becoming as such. And so it is becoming like he was writing a letter, she was riding a bike, and it was barking at me. Alright? So that's the usage with the past form singular. Alright? Singular aspect. Let's quickly get into the plural aspect, where we have, again, we are coming back to the same thing. For all these things, we have these subjects. Okay? I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. From this, I, he, she, and it are singular. You, we, they are plural. Alright? And you alone stands for both singular and plural. Okay? So here with the plural subject, you were talking at that time. We were walking in the evening. They were coming from that place. Okay? So when the subject is plural while the tense is in past, you make use of were. Alright? And when the subject is singular and if the tense is in the past, you make use of was. Alright? So that's the usage of was and were. Alright? I guess that was clear with aspects of present and past tense. Well, we'll quickly go on or we'll dive into the future form. That's very easy. That's pretty simple. Where this usage is going to be with one and only verb, that is will be. Okay? It's common. It's going to be standing common for all these subjects, be it singular or plural. I will be coming to your classroom tomorrow. You will be taking that telephone for me. We will be arriving at the station at 5. They will be coming tomorrow to meet us. Okay? He will ride the bike, or she will talk to me later. It will follow me. Alright? So if the don't worry about the subject when it comes to the future aspect of tense. Alright? The be form of verb that is used for all kinds of subjects will be will be. Okay? Will be? Will be. Okay, there comes another example with the instruction that I'm doing now. Alright, now we'll quickly get into the perfect tenses. So here we have two different columns for us to understand the perfect tenses and where and how to use these verbs. So perfect tenses have three verbs: has been, have been, and had been. Alright? Present perfect continuous tense will be using have been and has been. Alright? So has been, you must be aware by now, has been is used for singular subjects and have been is used for plural subjects and also the subject I. Okay? So subject I will make use of have been just like how the other plural subjects are using, while other proper nouns and the relative pronouns that is singular by its nature will be using has been as its be form of verb when it is used with this aspect of tense, that is present perfect continuous tense. I'll give you examples, don't worry. I have been writing an essay for the past 2 hours, or I've been writing this essay since 9 a.m. Okay, which means you are continuing to write this essay right from that particular time. Alright, same like you have been dismissed right from this morning. Okay, which means that particular order is going to sustain even beyond, and that has started from the recent past. Alright. Now for this, let us consider with these subjects, singular subjects. Alright. So it's going to be he has been dismissed from the school, which was effect from 1st of May. Alright. Or she has been a good student since her childhood, which means she is continuing. She was and she is continuing to be a good student. Okay, that sustainability is there. Okay, it is even in the present and it is likely to happen in the past, likely to happen in the future as well. Alright, so that's with the present perfect continuous tense. If you have doubts about the present perfect continuous tense, don't worry, you just have to stay tuned with the channel by subscribing and clicking on the notification icon, for you will be getting a detailed lecture on all the 12 forms of tenses. Alright, That's again a promise. Okay. So past perfect continuous is the next thing. So for past perfect continuous aspect of tense, we are going to have only one form of verb that's going to be used for all the subjects, be it singular or plural or whatever it is. So it's going to be had been. Okay. But here you need to understand that's going to be the difference between these two things, which I will be explaining to you when we will have another lecture detailing the tenses or the kinds of tenses. So I'm just going to give the meager understanding that you need to have with regards to these two differences. All right. So present perfect tense will not have an end point. Okay, it will have a starting point and it will state that it is continuing it. While past perfect continuous form will take in two incidents. All right, one will be in one will be in the perfect form, while the other one will be in the past form. That's with the past perfect tense, right? But past perfect continuous tense will say that there have been two different things happening, while one was continuing to a duration, brief duration, starting from one point to another point. So you will have two different points of start and ending, and you will also say that a particular happening happened between those 2 points of timeline. All right, so that's with the past perfect continuous. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, he had been my student right from his 5th standard till 2nd standard, which means he is no more a student of schooling. Probably he has gone to his college or he is at work, while the teacher has met him or her at some point of time, and she is getting reminded of the olden days when he had been her student. All right, so this is the situation. So it's going to be same alike. All right, so I had been a student of this teacher for 15 years, right from my 5th standard, or right from my LKG. So it's going to be with that sense. Alright, so that's going to be the explanation for these be form of verbs, and we also have being, another B form of verb that's also called as the progressive be form. Alright, so we are making use of being only for the continuous form, but in addition to that, we also need to understand that we use being. We use this word being for or in places of passivation. So when we have a progressive tense given with active voice, when we are asked to convert it into a passive voice, we make use of being, as in I am being scolded by my teacher. All right, I am being advised by my parents. All right, so this is the general usage of being. Alright, so we have finally covered all the B form of verbs, okay, with regards to the changes over the tenses. So we have am, is, and are for present tense, was and were for past tense, will be for future tense, present perfect continuous tense has got have and have been and has been, and we have had been to be used for past perfect continuous form, while the continuous passive form uses being as its B form of verbs. So these are all the verbs. So you need to be remembering those 3 points that I told earlier. The first thing is you need to remember the list of these verbs, and perhaps if it is possible, just try to memorize this table. And the second thing that you need to understand is the changes that it will have within itself when it changes from one tense form to the other tense form. And third thing, it's mandatory that you need to be really focusing, or you need to really remember the rules of concord, or what is called as subject-verb agreement. I hope that was very clear for you, and I believe that you will not commit any more mistakes with the usages of B forms of verbs. With this belief, we are concluding this lecture, and let us meet on yet another interesting lecture that's going to be related to very important topics for your studies. Alright, thank you people for listening to this lecture more patiently. We'll meet on another lecture. Until then, it's and all the best for all of you guys. Meet you on another lecture. Thank you.